فلسطين الصغير والكبير الحجر والبشر.
فعشان هيك الاغتيالات بتعقد المشهد. ممكن يترك
Maybe if guys will have
غزة مع خيارات أصعب، وممكن يمدد هاي الحرب بشكل أطول. يعني صحيح الأمريكان اليوم أو الإسرائيليين بيحاولوا يستخدموا هاي الأشياء من خلال القول بأن غزة اليوم الآخر بعد سنوار وبعد سنوات، ولكن للأسف هذه الشعارات يكون فقط لمراقبة الإنجازات الموجودة على أرض الواقع هي حرب تستمر ولا يبدو أنها حرب ستستمر.
So, here are the latest developments. The leader of Hamas, Yahya Sinwar, was killed by a gunshot wound to the head, according to the director of Israel's National Forensic Institute, Dr. Chen Kugel, who oversaw the autopsy and described his findings in an interview with the New York Times on Friday. He said that shrapnel, possibly from either a small missile or tank shell, had earlier hit Mr. Sinwar's arm, causing bleeding that he was trying to staunch by using an electrical cord as an impromptu tourniquet. Now, for those of you guys that aren't technically aware, if you're ever shot, the first thing you need to do is stop the bleeding, and you stop the bleeding by putting pressure. So a tourniquet, whether it's an actual tourniquet or a makeshift one, whether with a piece of cloth or whatever, you're gonna go, high or die is what I was taught when I was an agent, right? High or die. So let's say you're hitting the arm, right? Let's say you're hitting the arm, like here or here. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put it as high as you possibly can, tighten it to the point damn near thing, and then boom. That's gonna help stop the bleeding. Okay. So he got an arm and he had a wire as a makeshift tourniquet. I used to carry a tourniquet with me when I was on the job, actually. And shout out to Lori Boss, subscribe with Prime, and G-Bots, subscribe with Prime. Let's see here. We reached level 2 on Hype Train. Shout out to you guys, sir. 100 bits, thank you. Hugh999, subscribe with for 2 months at tier 1. Good stuff. Welcome to all you guys. Kung Fu Chris rewatch stream. Shout out to you, Sergio Big Neto. Resubscribe with Prime. Awesome. And Godly Mikey, resubscribe with Prime. Shout out to you as well. All right. Okay. So, and again, guys, it's free if you subscribe with Prime. You won't get any ads. All right. But it wouldn't have worked in any case, Mr. Kugel said. It wasn't strong enough and his forearm was smashed. We'll talk about how his forearm was smashed because I actually got a video that we're going to react to that shows how he was actually killed. The death of the Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar was confirmed Thursday by the Israeli authorities, but questions remain about the location of the body and what may happen to it in the future. Mr. Sinwar was killed by a gunshot wound to the head in southern Gaza during the firefight. Dr. Chen Kugel, the director of Israel's National Forensic Institute, said in an interview in the New York Times on Friday. Dr. Kugel oversaw the autopsy, and after it was complete, Mr. Sinwar's body was handed over to the Israeli military. Said did not know where it was being kept. And some of the items Israel said it found near Sinwar: Mentos, a map, and expired passport. So, there you go. Watch, nail clipper. This is something in there. A photograph shows items that were said to have been found near the body of Hamas leader, including the lower Mentos, the 7 nail clipper, and a watch. An expired passport. An Israeli official spoke on the condition of anonymity because of the sensitivity of the matter, shared photos of items said to have been found near the bodies of the Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar, killed in militants killed in the firefight southern Gaza with Israel soldiers on Wednesday. Okay, so this is the IDF statement after killing him, right? Keeping it objective here, we'll show you guys all sides.
Recently confirmed that the...
And this is, shit, what's this guy doing? This is, watch IDF spokesperson, Radham. This guy.
Let's see it again and appreciate it more. A shot from the gods took him out.
Daniel the dog. Yeah.
Looks like he's
this
going to
is
survive around here, but just barely.
Yahya Sinwar, the leader of Hamas and the face of evil behind the October 7th massacre, was killed in Rafah. Tonight we are declassifying footage of Sinwar from just a few hours before the October 7th massacre.
It's over!
As well as his movements inside
I'll show you guys some of that footage.
Gaza as he fled over the past year. Yahya Sinwar spent years planning the October 7th attack. Each step was planned to maximize harm to Israeli and Gazan civilians and to minimize harm to himself and other terrorists. See for yourself. This is a footage of Sinwar just hours before the October 7th massacre, where Sinwar was hiding his family and equipment, including beds, pillows, food, and water, and a television.
That's his wife and kids.
He was hiding it inside Hamas underground tunnel network. He was doing that all night alone with his family in order to keep his position classified. It was all happening in Khan Yunis. This was a luxury that the people of Gaza did not have. Sinwar always prioritized himself, his money, and Hamas terrorists over the people of Gaza. While hiding in the tunnels of Khan Yunis, Sinwar ordered the October 7th attack to begin. After they invaded Israel, Sinwar's army of terrorists murdered families, raped women, and kidnapped men, women, children, and babies into Gaza.
So I did a whole podcast on October 7th, by the way, guys. I did it with Suleiman Ahmed, where we went over some of the narratives that the Israeli government put out. If you guys want to watch that, it's on Rumble for obvious reasons. I'm not going to go into it here because we're on all the main platforms, but we actually went through each of these talking points, whether it was the beheaded babies, the babies in ovens, the mass rapes, etc. We went over all of it. I'll show you guys the video real quick. And we actually use Israeli media sources for it. Okay. Just type in Fresh and Fit, October 7th.
Expectations are sky high for this fight. Will it live up to the hype? We're about to find out. Alongside me is Johnny Nelson.
It's going to be unbelievable. The fans, everybody around the world, the fighters. This is just one.
All right, now I can't find it. I'll get the link for you guys. Give me one second.
Up first, Slugger.
So let's keep playing this video.
First up, we have Slugger.
101 of these hostages are still held in Gaza after a year in captivity under ruthless conditions. Throughout the war that Sinwar started, he continued to hide underneath the people of Gaza. In Khan Yunis in February, our troops found supplies meant for a long stay in Sinwar's underground hideout, including a lot of money, food, beds, documents, a shower, and a kitchen. Then IDF operations in Khan Yunis forced Sinwar to flee to Rafah. Last month, Sinwar's DNA was found on a piece of tissue he used. A few hundred meters from a tunnel where 6 Israeli hostages were brutally executed in Tel Sultan in Rafah. Then Sinwar fled yet again. While Sinwar was running for his life and went above the ground, this was the first and last time that he encountered Israeli soldiers in a combat. Sinwar was eliminated by the IDF in Rafah last Wednesday. I want to emphasize it again. This was the first and last time he encountered Israeli soldiers, and he was eliminated. There were no hostages with Sinwar when he was eliminated. Killing Sinwar is the result of a year of operational and intelligence efforts to bring him and other Hamas leaders to justice. Sinwar has been eliminated, but our mission is not over. We will not rest until we bring all our hostages home by any means possible, and we will continue to defend the people of Israel from all threats on all of our borders. Thank you.
All right. Shout out to Brandon for subscribing for 6 months, tier 1, and J. Bro Hogan's. Now, this.
We're hoping for an all-action slugfest. Last round complete domination. Let's see what we have in store for us here.
Todd, my motto is, if it's not broken, why change it? An excellent last round, everything works. Wait for the reaction. Until then, keep doing what you've just been doing because you won that hands down.
So, and I'll find the link to this for you guys, but a couple of days after October 7th, they did try to negotiate the exchange of the prisoners in exchange for Israel not going into Gaza, but Netanyahu actually refused. Because they knew that they were going to, blow it up bad. I'll find it. This actually comes from Israeli media with the Red Sea. So, okay, so now we're going to show how the IDF actually did this. Okay, shout out to this channel here, AI Telly. I really like it. They got like some really something. And I'll find the video for you guys.
Not many boxers get to 50 fights. An absolute warrior. So he will take a knee here and get a nice reprieve from the action.
Best thing the fighter did, otherwise, you know what, pride's going to get you knocked out.
Anyway, while I do that, I will, what I'll do is we'll play this video and react to it. And this actually goes through the details of how this happened, how this went down.
Straight right just misses.
That's what's good.
Has to be clean. Down goes Slugger.
The Israel Defense Forces reported that a unit from its Bislomak brigade was patrolling Tal al-Sultan, an area in Rafah, on Wednesday, October 16, 2024. 3 militants were identified and engaged by Israeli troops as they attempted to move from one building to another, firing back at the patrolling forces whenever possible. The patrolling tanks and the fighting vehicles fired shells at the buildings, destroying both structures. It wasn't until Thursday morning, October 17, when a DNA test confirmed that one of the militants was Yahya Sinwar, the elusive military commander. We will also explore in detail 2 possible scenarios, how he was eliminated, all covered in the videos ahead. At 10 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, October 16th, a soldier from the battalion of the Bislomak Brigade noticed a suspicious figure moving in and out of a building in Rafah's Sultan neighborhood. A soldier,
And we showed you guys in the map earlier, Rafah was all the way at the bottom of the Gaza Strip. This was actually the last territory that Israel was fighting on.
immediately informed the battalion commander, who assessed the situation. After evaluating the threat, the commander gave the order to open fire on the structure. The gunfight with the militants inside the building were relentless in not surrendering. Around 3 o'clock in the evening, a drone identified 3 individuals attempting to exit the building and move from house to house, using the structures as cover. 2 of these figures moved in front of the IDF line of fire to protect the 3rd figure. This in turn...
So at that point, they know that this guy is with somebody, right? Because they're providing cover fire so that he can go ahead and get out of the situation. So, they obviously didn't know who he was at the time this firefight was going on. Right? They would have been far more aggressive. But they knew that he was a somebody.
and cleared the path for the 3rd individual, Sinwar, a high-value target which the IDF didn't know. The situation involved 2 key buildings. Building A is one where Sinwar's bodyguard...
Shout out to Jerbo Hogan's get for the 1 month sub. Guys, again, for those of you guys that are watching on Twitch, if you're getting a bunch of ads and it's annoying, fine. Type in, I'm a brokey, and all caps you got. Someone will take care of you and give you a sub. And if you donate 100 subs, you get 1 year free of Castle Club. So 100 subs, you get 1 year free of Castle Club, absolutely 0 charge. And you help a bunch of people out in the community, man. So we appreciate it greatly. So shout out to all you guys, man.
Guards had taken up positions, and the other structure B to which Sinwar moved. It was at this moment that the IDF forces targeted both buildings. They first opened fire on the structure where the bodyguards were positioned, using machine gun fire to neutralize the threat and clear a path. The operation accidentally isolated Sinwar, who had relocated to the 2nd building. As the situation unfolded, the IDF tanks, shell, and ground forces coordinated their efforts. After firing on the first building, they reloaded and redirected their fire towards the second building where Sinwar had taken cover.
And obviously they know he's there because they have the perimeter, locked in. Kind of like when I was in law enforcement, right? If we know someone's in a house, the first thing you do is secure the perimeter, make sure that they can't escape, and then you start figuring out how you're going to go ahead and stab them. Obviously, in the military, you're going to go ahead and just shoot, ask questions later, right? When it comes to the military conflict. But in a law enforcement perspective, this one you get a SWAT team in, because you basically what this is a barricaded subject. So the difference between law enforcement and military is, right, they obviously got the authorization to engage with deadly force. They're going to do that. They're not going to go into the same degree. But in a law enforcement perspective, you got a barricaded subject like this, you got to get a SWAT and a special team in.
Sinwar moved to the second floor of this building in an attempt to evade capture. A tank then fired another shell, hitting the building while...
And he threw grenades at them, as you guys... I think did they mention that, guys? Here? Looking at something else. I apologize if I didn't. Threw grenades at them when they tried to give chase.
The individual was Sinwar, a high-value target which the IDF didn't know. The situation involved two key buildings. Building A is one where Sinwar's bodyguards had taken up positions, and the other structure B to which Sinwar moved. It was at this moment that the IDF forces targeted both buildings.
Well, I'm wondering if the video said this. Did the video say it? Listen, I'm playing about the
They first opened fire on the
about the grenades.
Structure where the bodyguards were positioned, using machine gun fire to neutralize the threat and clear a path. The operation accidentally isolated Sinwar, who had relocated to the second building. As the situation unfolded, the IDF tanks, shell, and ground forces coordinated their efforts.
Oh, okay. So they're not mentioning this. So they actually tried to chase him into the building, guys, and he threw grenades at them. That's why they backed off. He threw, I think, 1 or 2 grenades at them.
After firing on the first building, they reloaded and redirected their fire towards the second building where Sinwar had taken cover. Sinwar moved to the second floor of this building in an attempt to evade capture. A tank then fired another shell, hitting the building while an infantry platoon moved up to secure and search the area. During their approach, Sinwar threw 2 grenades at the advancing
Okay, so they were going to talk about it. All right, cool.
Soldiers. 1 grenade exploded, forcing the soldiers to retreat temporarily for their safety. It was this moment. A drone was then deployed to survey the room. It spotted a man with an injured arm and a covered face identified as Sinwar.
And I'm going to show you guys this footage.
As the drone hovered, Sinwar threw a wooden stick at it in an attempt to disable the device. In response, the IDF forces fired another tank shell at Sinwar's location, ensuring they maintained control of the situation. It was at this moment the whole building was partially destroyed and the figure was crushed by the rubbles. This is Scenario 2 in the south of Gaza. The IDF deployed a significant number of Namer infantry fighting vehicles in the operation. These vehicles were equipped with high-caliber guns and missiles mounted on their tops, allowing for both heavy firepower and precision strikes. According to reports from an IDF soldier, the forces targeted the building where Sinwar was believed to be hiding. They launched a missile from one of the Namer IFVs, striking the structure with huge explosion. To verify the success of the strike, the IDF then deployed a drone to inspect the aftermath and confirm whether Sinwar had been killed. On Wednesday, October 16th,